Hello.
Hello, how's it going? Are you at home?
Yeah, I'm at home.
Nice. Cool.
So what's this? Immigrants can help.
So basically, like I started a project, sort of like a thing, and on like people like you and me, and like that could benefit like other people. That could be potentially other newcomers, or like even other people, other people in general. Like now today we'll be talking about like your story and like your journey as like a recent graduate or like a professional. So like use it right in a way to their advantage, kind of like like this is the degree this particular person did, or like this is where they ended up. So like it could be useful to someone. So that was pretty much it. That was the goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That sounds so true.
So yeah, tell us about how you like ended up coming here, and like what was your journey like, and wherever you were before you came to Halifax, and like what did you do? It's kind of like just start with the story basically.
So, I did my degree in not degree. I did my high school in Oman.
Okay.
I'm originally from India. I grew up in a small Middle East country called Oman. After my high school, I worked for 2 years. We have a small family business in Oman, so I ended up working with my father.
Right.
At which point I realized by the end of the 2 years, I realized that a lot of my friends were graduating from university, or they were towards graduating from the university. So kind of, I made me think. I was like, oh shit, I gotta do a degree. And, that was the beginning of my journey into coming to Canada. I started looking at different courses, different universities. So in Oman, we used to have every year we have these universities from all across. There's like an exhibition, a university exhibition, and what they basically do is they showcase themselves, they inspect, take their resumes then and there, and do like a small interview to see if they're fit for the university. So I went to one of those. This was back in 2013. The St. Mary's University was there. That's the university that I graduated from. There was the University of Alberta. There was a few US-based universities as well. So I ended up applying to Canadian universities because at that time, a lot of my father's friends were telling me that it's better to go to Canada because if you want to immigrate, it's better than UK, or it's better to go to Canada because if you want to immigrate, it's better than UK or better than the US. So that's how Canada seemed to be a little more, more attractive to me, because I have, if I wanted to immigrate after my university degree, I could stay back. 4 different universities in Canada.
So all Canadian universities, right? Okay.
Yeah, all Canadian universities. And, SMU, all of them accepted. There was no issues with the acceptance. I had my IELTS score and everything, so IELTS was also decent. I had an 8. Yeah, it was an 8. It was an overall 8 band, so there was no issues. They were accepting offers then and there. And SMU was financially the most cheapest one. Everything else, like Ryerson and University of Alberta, seemed to be more on the expensive side.
Okay.
So tuition fees wise, SMU was the cheapest. So because of financial constraints, then I was like, we'll just go with SMU. I didn't know the difference at that time. I had no clue the difference between either of these universities. I used to had no clue the difference between either of these universities. I used to Google them up. Everybody had their own advertising platform, their own social media. Exactly. They all say they're the best, but you don't know. Sitting in Oman, you don't know what the hell, what is the right scene.
Right.
right scene.
Right.
Anyway, I ended up in SMU. Came to SMU. I came in 2014 January. Um, I started my degree in January in the winter, so came right into the snow. A lot of delays and a lot of delays and stuck in the snow. Like I've never seen snow before in my life. Like I grew up in a desert where it was always warm.
Being
back, yeah, being in Oman, right? So this was like a whole different, the other opposite end. I eventually, grew accustomed to the climate and everything. Made a lot of international friends when I first came, because usually when you're an international student, you end up making a lot of international friends rather than local Canadians as your friends, because everybody's in the same boat as you. Nobody knows, and so yeah, it was my first circle of friends were all international group of people. And the time when I came, there were a lot of Bangladeshi students. So majority of them were Bangladeshis. And it was fun, like all of us. And it was fun, like all of us, a new world, new place.
This is the SMU community that you're talking about?
Yeah, this is all SMU. This is 100% SMU. So I was staying in the hostel. The residence, the SMU residence. So we have a dining hall, which that's where the residence, the SMU residence. So we have a dining hall, which that's where we used to socialize and everything. So everybody used to meet there for dinner time or lunchtime. Mostly dinner time. Everybody was done with classes, so dinner time was when we used to all meet up there. I used to sit on big table together, talk, and share experiences, share all our classes. Some of them were also in my same class, so which even made it even better.
Yeah.
That's how I started off. I was staying in university residence, which helped me meet a lot of people. I would hike time to Canada, at least for the first 6 months if we can stay in university. It's something I would recommend.
Especially not like a financial constraint, because like residents do tend to be a little bit expensive, but if you can manage that, then
correct, yeah. And that's not the only thing, right? Like if you financial constraint is there, at least for the first one semester, if you can stay in the university campus, that would be good, because then after that you can pick your roommates and find an apartment or something outside of university. So you get to meet people. That 4 months is mostly for you to accustom to 4 months is mostly for you to accustom to the climate, the community around you, find friends. You don't know anybody when you come here for the first time. You understand, the localities, the different what is north end, what is south end, what is dark. You don't know any of these things when you're back home. If you have the financial, stability, or I don't know what the word is, but if you have the financials to do it, then I would recommend staying in university at least for 1 month.
I want to circle back to the part you were choosing a particular program. So did you choose this like?
I went to high school.
I want to do when you were applying to universities here in Canada.
So I knew what I wanted to do from before itself.
Okay.
The reason being, in my high school, I did a CBSE syllabus. So in CBSE syllabus, how it goes is in your 11th and 12th, you have to choose commerce or science, and I chose commerce. Business and accounting finance. Those are the main, courses in commerce. So I knew what I wanted to pick, so I picked BCom. Bachelor of Commerce. And in Canada, you have this idea of specializing in your degree, which was completely new to me. I never knew about that until I came to Canada. So how it works is the first 2 years, you would do a basic commerce courses that is standard for all commerce students. And the next 2 years after that is when you pick a major. So you would pick finance, or you would pick accounting, or HR, or marketing, etc. So the next 2 years, you would just focus on that major courses. would just focus on that major courses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I had a confusion at that time whether I wanted to go with finance or accounting, because both of them seemed in my area of interest.
Okay.
But in my area of interest.
Okay.
But I didn't want to spend time doing a double major. I just financially I thought it was just better for me to just stick with one major, just do one major and get it into the job market as soon as I can.
Right. Yeah.
Because I had as soon as I can.
Right. Yeah.
Because I had with God's grace I had support from my family for paying my tuition.
Okay.
Everything else I had to work on this. I did have a part-time job. I had a part-time job at the university, which helped me pay for my rent and my groceries, etc., with the help of my parents.
Nice. So, what were you doing campus? Where were you working?
So, in campus, after my first semester, I found I had a friend actually. He was working in the IT department, socializing events. He and I got got along together, and he was looking for. He told me that his manager was looking for one more person to fill the same work that he's doing, because the workload was increasing. They wanted like part-time shifts, people to work at night because take over those night shifts. I mean, I'm not talking late nights. I'm talking like until 9 p.m.
Oh, okay. I see.
8:30, 9 p.m. So,
right.
So like my shift would start from 4 p.m. Until 8:30. So basically, my classes would be. So basically, my classes would be in the morning, and then I would work from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. And of course, these are all, since it's in campus jobs, they're always flexible with the hours of your classes. You don't have to stick to a particular schedule. You don't have to stick to a particular schedule.
Right.
As long as you let your management know that, hey, I have classes this semester from this time to this time, they'll work around the schedules and they'll try to fill in someone else to do your work, which was great.
Yeah.
And I think the per hour is, I was getting just 50 cents above the minimum wage. I think it was $11.50 per hour. So that was not bad. It was very good.
Yeah, especially when you're not expecting anything to come your way, right? Like you don't know
exactly.
if you at all are gonna have $11-12. It's still something, and it helps you, like you said, buy groceries or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And I had that job I kept that job for 3 years, all the way throughout the end of my graduation. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, luckily I was able to do that, which paid a lot of bills. Paid a lot of bills.
Sure.
Definitely encourage everybody to get a part-time job. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in doing a part-time job when you're studying. It's even better because it increases your circle. It increases your circle. You meet more people, meet new people. You never know what comes with these things, right? When you might meet someone that works in an industry that you want to get into once you graduate, and all these are also references that you can use towards your next job in Canada.
Yeah,
did that Canada, work? How the job market? Of course. So in Canada, everything references are a very important fact, very important thing. So when I first joined IBM, my manager at
Right. Okay.
So that's a very important thing.
So when it comes to the work, what was exactly that you were doing there in the IT department of SMU?
So I worked in ITSS. ITSS stands for Information Technologies Securities Service. They basically managed all of the computers, and so any classroom you go to, you have projectors, you have a computer, you have a microphone that's used by the presenter or the teacher. So that was my job basically. I would manage those things. If there's anything breaks down, I can't fix it. I'll put in a ticket into the system. They had a ticketing system, which helped to maintain any problems that any classrooms had with any equipment. I would just put that in the system, and someone that has a knowledge of how to work the system would come and fix it. So night shifts, usually none of the major people were there, so it was just me myself, and I would just try and fix most of the things I can. If I can't fix them, I just issue a ticket, and the next day someone will pick it up, and fix it. But my main work was basically fixing computers and projectors and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So tell us about how did you end up working for IBM, and was it your courses that helped you get the job that you got, or it was a combination of things like your experience working and the references? What was it like?
So IBM, I never expected to work for IBM.
What was it like?
So IBM, I never expected to work for IBM.
Okay.
And the main reason being, I did commerce, I did finance as a major. I didn't do any programming or anything. To start with, I didn't even know what I had a basic idea of what IBM supplied, but I didn't know what they were doing in Halifax, what services or products they were providing. So after what I did was my graduation was in 2017 July, applying for jobs anywhere and everywhere. So I had a few companies that I wanted to apply to. One of them was TD, another one was Citco, and there was Mitsubishi Fund Services, and then there was Castle Hall Services. TD, I never heard back from them. Citco, I heard back from. No, sorry, Citco also I did not hear back. Citco also rejected me. Then I heard back from Mitsubishi and Castle Hall. So these two were hardcore finance-related jobs. It was basically a fund accountant. That was the name of the position that I applied for. It was hardcore accounting. There was, you need to know how stock markets work. You need to know how interest works, how funds work, how NAV calculation. So these are all hardcore finance stuff, which was perfectly down my alley, and I was happy. That I got in. I went for the interviews. I aced them, and I got the reply the next week itself saying that I can start.
Oh wow!
Which was great at that time. So this is 2017.
Right.
I had just finished my graduation was not done. So just once you do your exams, then you can get a letter from the university saying that you have done your exams, you have passed those exams, which means you're eligible to. And that is also a very important thing, because you need that document to apply for your work visa, which is your next step. Because I was a student then, right? So you need that letter. And I would suggest to start that process as soon as possible, to not even wait another week or 2 weeks. Once your results are out, get that letter from the university stating that you've completed your degree. What I did was I just drove down to the border. The closest border from Halifax was in St. John. So I drove down, rented a car. New Brunswick, St. John. I think so. I think that's the name, right? St. John, right? St. John, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, St. John. So I rented a car, drove down. I got the work visa issued. The same. Took half hour for the police officer to do it for me. He just exits the country, come back, and you have to. Anyway, so that was important. That was important, because now I have a work visa, and now when the employer asks me, I can tell them that yes, I am eligible to work in the country. if at all, if you go for an interview and if you tell them you're not eligible, you're still applying, they would put you in the back burner, or maybe they won't even come back to you because they know that you're still not able to deal with it. They would just go with other applicants. So I got that done, got that out of my way. And then I was supposed to start working, and I had also applied to IBM while I applied to all these companies. The position that I applied for at IBM was just a very vague, open position. They didn't say that was the name of the position. It was a starting position. It was a business consultant for entry level. Yeah, that was the name. Yeah. And if you read the description, it was very vague. Like, it just said that you had to be graduated from university. You should have a university degree and good communication, a good language skill, just the basic stuff. So they didn't even mention what you need to know, what they're expecting from you. Nothing.
I see.
So I didn't know. I was just applying, right? So IBM had that open position. So I applied. I didn't look much into it. Surprisingly, I got a call from the HR right after I was supposed to start working at Mitsubishi.
That's funny.
So I accepted my Mitsubishi's offer. I accepted my Mitsubishi's offer. These guys called me. I was supposed to start working on Monday, the next Monday, and on Friday, before that Monday, I got a call from IBM folks saying that we'd like to pull you in for an interview. When can you come? So I was like, yeah, I'm ready the next week. I can come anytime. So went in. This was in Bedford.
Okay.
Went in. I don't know what to expect because, first of all, in my mind, when you think of IBM, I was expecting, they're going to ask me programming questions, computer science. To be honest, like I thought they made a mistake pulling my profile out. I thought that they thought I was some computer science student, but I didn't want to bring it up. I went there for the interview, and there was this lady that interviewed me. There was this one person. So she mostly asked me about a few personality questions. About how you would behave in a team environment, how you would react to certain situations. And then she asked me about my school, like what I did in my university, what I studied, all that kind of stuff. So I told her I did finance, and I don't have any programming knowledge, but which was D2B. That was the name of the system that I used in university when I was in school. And another thing was I also have experience working on Tally. Tally is an accounting software, as extensive as the SAP is. And so that was in my resume.
Details. So
so that Tally information was in my resume. I think that's what probably caught their eye. And then they asked me more about that. I told them what I did. I was basically doing some petty cash for my dad's company. My dad's company at that time was using Tally. There was a little bit of asset accounting that I was doing. So I told them about what I used to do on a daily basis with that software. They were interested. They said, "Wow, okay, that's good. And that's when she said that, okay, so we're looking to hire for SAP, and inside of SAP we have a module that's for finance and accounting. So that's what we're looking to hire you for." And until she said that, I didn't have any clue about what SAP was. It was the first time I ever heard SAP. Didn't know what it was.
Right.
And I was, I was like confidently, I was like, yep, I would love to, work for SAP. And I don't know jack shit what SAP was at that time. When I came back home after the interview, then I Googled SAP. I looked up some videos, basic intro videos, and what SAP was, just to get myself an idea. And then it was from there. It just I guess from there, I think in a week or 2 weeks, I think I got a call saying that I can, they can be asking me to join.
Okay.
So
you said you already had a call, or sorry, actually not a call, but you were offered from Mitsubishi. That was the name, right?
Mitsubishi, Mitsubishi Fund Services.
So you were supposed to start on Monday and
start at Mitsubishi, and the Friday before that is when I got the call saying that I was hired. So the hiring process was happening way before that.
Okay.
I when I explained it, I think I kind of might have confused you. What I meant to say was Monday I was supposed to start at Mitsubishi is when I got the call from IBM saying that, hey, you're hired. When can you start?
Okay.
And that's when they discuss the salary and all that stuff. So Friday when Chelsea Whidden, when she called me, she said, hey, this is your package. This is how much you can get. And it was better than Mitsubishi. So I ended up accepting it.
That's perfect. Because I thought you were about to start and then you had an interview on Friday.
No. That was my bad explanation. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was sorry. No, that's okay. I was just trying to get to the point where, what was your, what made you choose IBM over Mitsubishi? That's where I was getting. That's why I was asking that.
So I didn't see myself working at IBM at all until that Friday. I didn't see myself working at IBM at all until that Friday that, when she called me and she gave me the package, I was like, oh, okay, better number than Mitsubishi, so, why not?
Okay.
So that's how I ended up going with IBM. But otherwise, honest to God, I would have never even looked in that direction. I didn't know what services they did. I never saw myself working there. I was only looking towards Citco or Mitsubishi because that was exactly what I was doing, what I studied.
Yeah. So tell me about your when you're applying the process. Were there certain things or skills that you were focusing on? What was you had two offers right after finishing school? So maybe there's something that a nugget there that someone can actually utilize. Yeah. What would you like to tell us about that?
Okay, so let's see. I don't remember what.
In that this is supposedly your strategy to figure things out or figure out who's gonna be invested in your profile.
Yeah, at that point when I started applying in 2017 January or February, that's when I started applying, and I was graduating in 2017. Applying at least in your last semester. Do not wait for your graduation, especially as a immigrant, as an international student. You don't have a lot of time. You're not a permanent resident. You have a limited time when it comes to visa, to your student visa, to your student visa, work visa. So what I had all that stuff in the back of my head. I wanted to be on top of everything. I wanted to make sure that I don't waste out on my time. So that was the first thing that I would suggest. When you're in your last semester, start your application, and before starting your application, go to your university's help line where they can help you with creating a resume. Canadian resumes have their own standards. They have their own ways of portraying your experience in education on a on a piece of paper.
Right.
You should not cramp up a couple, 2-3 pages of information on and expect the HR to read through No one's going to read through. It's I know that I came to hear about this, that every HR has about 7 to 10 seconds as they're going through one resume. So my goal at that time, and the person who taught me about it, she said that you're not. I don't have a lot of experience, right? I just graduated. I have 2 years of work experience. That was with my father. And what she said was just focus on putting everything on one piece of paper, and it has to be easy for the HR's eyes to kind of see, okay, what did he study, what experience he had, what are his main abilities, or his like, for example, I had Microsoft Excel for me. It has to click to the eye as they look at that first one page. So
makes sense.
That was a very good advice, and I believe that helped me. I don't know, but the HR person, it makes sense because in IBM we have about 700 people. HR, there's only one HR person. There's like one person that does the hiring process. So if she has to go through all of these, resumes, I would assume 7 to 10 seconds seems to be a little too much. Like, I guess when I first started making my resume, I made like 2-3 pages of gibberish. I just wrote down stuff that I that I did, every breath I took, everything. I just wrote it down on 3 long papers, which is a big mistake. The best way to do it is one paper. The best way to do it is one paper, 1 page resume that just shows the main things that you've done that you want your employer or your HR to see. That's one advice.
So over the time to IBM, are there any certain personality traits or something like that kind of like you think is the, gives you more of an opportunity or like a edge to kind of succeed when it comes to specifically IBM, for example, or your particular industry where you are working right now?
See, I joined IBM as a new grad. I did not know anything about anything. That's the best way to put it. So, one thing when I joined IBM, like I told them that I was open to learning new softwares, new technology. One thing that employers look for is that they don't want you to be tied up. They need you to be flexible to learn new technologies as they come and go. And with IBM, I think that was one of the main things that stood out to the interviewer. I mentioned at least 2 times that hey, I don't have experience in SAP, but I'm a fast learner. I'm more than happy to pick up any new kind of technologies and learn it and implement it. I made sure that that was communicated well enough to the interviewer. Those are important things, especially because you're a new grad. You don't have experience. You come with nothing. You don't have anything. You don't have anything to provide to the table, right? It's basically IBM is taking a chance on me. And I wanted to make sure that it's either taking a chance on the right person, not just anybody. That is very important.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
I've learned a few things. Like you need to have some principles in your life, no matter what kind of work you do. And I've developed a few principles that I can name in this session that I follow. You should have integrity in the work that you do. You should be able to stand by the work that you provide to your customers, to your clients, and you should be confident enough to say that yes, this works, or this this is my work, and if you've made right things, you need to have the confidence to own up to it. And another thing is you have to be loyal. You should show that you are loyal to your customers, your clients, or your employer. That will take you, that'll help you take bigger steps within the corporation to your clients or your employer. That will take you, that'll help you take bigger steps within the corporation, because they need loyal people to help IBM grow. And finally, one more thing, but not least, but it is very important. Luck. Luck is something that is very, very important too. You have to be in the right place in the right time. It is something like you don't have control over it, but you need that luck too. Like I decided to apply to IBM. I would have not applied to IBM because when I saw IBM, I was like, oh, this is probably just for programmers. I was lucky enough that they picked my resume as well and pulled me in for an interview. Or even if it was Mitsubishi too. Like, I was lucky that they pulled my resume out among all of the stacks. I mean, you have to understand in Halifax, we have 4-5 different universities that students graduate every single year. There's a lot of students graduating. There's not a lot of employers in this community.
That's fair.
It's very,
That's fair.
It's very important to have the luck and be lucky as well. So these are the 3 things: integrity, loyalty, and luck.
Yeah. So stand by what you do, and then helpful to your client and try to deliver the best service, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
And
that's helpful.
Be right place at the right time.
Yeah. Well, that's probably not under its control.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it has its importance. But yes,
for sure.
3 years. But it's a good place to start. I can guarantee that. As a student, as a newcomer, as an immigrant, definitely Nova Scotia is a good place to start. It's a more closed, maybe everybody's next to near each other. 20 minutes you get to from one end of Halifax to the other end. So Halifax,
for sure,
is good. What else?
Yeah. So say you get a call from somewhere now. Say someone messages you on LinkedIn. Has that started happening? Has that happened to you with LinkedIn? Has that started happening? Has that happened to you with you? Like, people trying to get you to work in their organization, or trying to get you to move from IBM to a different organization, or maybe within IBM, another office is wanting you to come somewhere else, work from somewhere else.
So that is something that will start happening as the year.
You to come somewhere else, work from somewhere else.
So that is something that will start happening as the years pass. Like you won't be getting those messages in your first year working at IBM. You have to, these recruiters that send these messages from other companies. They usually keep an eye for people that have some stability in the company they're working with, and they see all the public posts that you put. So when I work with IBM, some of the clients that I work with, I put public posts saying that, hey, I'm working with these guys. We're implementing S/4HANA SAP, which is the latest version, latest and greatest of SAP. And those posts, they take you really far. Like when recruiters go to your profile, they'll see, okay, how many years experience does this guy have? What has he done? So LinkedIn is a very, very powerful tool in that sense. You should use it to the fullest. Like even if it was any voluntary opportunity that you did, you should make sure that you post and write. Post and write something about what you did because all these are seen by the public, and it's available to the recruiter's eyes. In the first 2 years, I didn't see much, but now once I've stepped into my third year, I have been receiving messages and emails. They find my email from LinkedIn, or they just message me directly on LinkedIn, asking, hey, we have this position open. Are you interested in contracting? Or are you interested in working full time? So there's Deloitte. Deloitte is one example. Deloitte has started one province in Nova Scotia as is the health sector. They're implementing S/4HANA for the health. I'm not sure. I'll have to confirm it, but I think it's for the health. But, so they're basically looking for hiring more people into SAP's implementation, specifically to the health sector. So people with experience in SAP in health, they would be reaching out. So Deloitte sent out an email asking, hey, there's this open house event if you want to come. This was due before the pandemic. House event if you want to come. This was due before the pandemic. So I think this was in March. Sorry, not March, February. So they had an open event in Barrington Hotel. And they just they sent emails to a lot of people. I know a lot of people in IBM as well got these emails and I didn't end up going. I don't know if some folks definitely went because when a new employer reaches out to you, it means more money and a change of environment as well. So I didn't end up going. But yeah, I can definitely confirm that after my 2-3 years in IBM, I have been receiving emails or LinkedIn messages asking if I'm interested. And that'll definitely happen to anybody in your industry, whichever industry you're in. Work for when you have to create that stability as well. Like you should not be switching employers every so often. It's good to kind of if you like, of course, if you like what you're doing, if you like the job you're doing, try to stick with that employer at least for 2 and that will open up more doors to you.
So what makes your decision whether to accept or how do you decide, say, at this stage after working for 3 years when you get a call or a message to employee? So how do you make the call to go or not go?
Let's see. Money is one factor, of course. If they are willing to pay something, 30%, you have to understand the company that is offering you this. You have to understand the company's culture, the company's roots. If it's a company, if it's a startup that's offering you this, you're leaving IBM for a high risk employer, like an employer that could go down. If you get client in revenue, they can easily go under. So, but if we're talking about an employer like Deloitte or what was his name? Maybe province of Nova Scotia, these are employers with like really deep roots. They have good. You're not only getting the money, but also you will as an employee, you will grow by working for them. You'll be exposed to the latest technologies, the latest softwares that they use, and you'll be having the chance to be part of these new implementations that these people do. So those are factors you have to look into. I mean, it's not an easy thing. You'll have to do a lot of digging to find out what these employers are doing. Will they give you a chance to grow? Because money does speak a lot, but still at the end of the day, you have to also see yourself with that company, growing within that company, the next company, growing within that company, the next 3 to 5 years. You should be able to see, okay, I start as a managing consultant, and in the next 3-4 years, I should be able to reach a senior managing consultant with these with certain experiences, or because all of that thing matters at that time when you have reached 5 years working with that company, and if you want to move, if you want to switch, or if you want to start your own business at one point, you want to start your own consultancy, those things really matter. So
it's kind of like a cumulative effect, right? So like all things, they do add up. So it's like, how do you want them to add?
Exactly. Yeah. You should be able to see. You should be able to see that future in our approach.
Perfect. Yeah. Cool. That's good information, and that's good information, and yeah, I also got to know your story, which is amazing, because I guess we were never able to go in that much of depth about, like, I had a vague idea about it, but I didn't know the intricacies. So that's very nice. Thanks for sharing all that.
Are we going to listen to your story now? Or?
Let me make a story. Maybe I want to share people's stories more than like my story. We can talk about my story like some other time, and we'll chat personally.
Okay, absolutely.
So is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap it up?
Nothing. Have integrity for the work you do. Be loyal to the work you do, and be in the right place at the right time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for having
me. Thanks,
Vipin. Appreciate it. I hope I've
no worries.
I hope I've given some insight. If you want to do any more of these sessions, let me know. I can.
Yeah, certainly, for sure.
I mean, I'm sure like a lot of students will be there that have no guidance as to what to do, what is next. These students, or even new immigrants as well. Or even new immigrants as well. Like, as you said, they will need help in at least some kind of a guidance, how to reach out to employers. So I think this is a great initiative.
Yeah.
This is a very, very good way to help a lot of people.
Yeah, and like it's easy consumption too, right? Like if you can just like share in the form of stories, like an audio recording that can be played while you're doing dishes or cooking, or like even having food or something like that, or driving or whatever. Yeah. So like you can easily get information while hopefully people enjoy it too. So
I
hope get information while hopefully people enjoy it too. So
I hope so. It was a 49-50 minutes. So wow. I don't think anyone's going to listen to that much, but yeah, maybe the bits, you can. You said you're going to edit the video, right? So
yeah, I'm going to edit a little bit, but let's see how
video, right? So
yeah, I'm going to edit a little bit, but let's see how much editing I'm able to do.
This one's 50-minute long conversation. It's a pretty long.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to listen to that much.
Yeah. So once I do it, I'll share it with you.
Absolutely,
so yeah, thank you. Absolutely. And hopefully it helps other people too.
Absolutely, I wish it'll help anyone.
Yeah.
And someone reaches out to questions about IBM specifically, you can send